Hello everyone. Today we are going to work on examples from chapter 4.5, which is on early computational methods. We will be specifically talking about or discussing some of the multiplication techniques that were developed in ancient civilizations and have been handed down to us over the years. Now, you may wonder why we need to learn these techniques, outdated techniques, especially when in today's world we are always using calculators and computers for mathematical calculations, simple or complex, right? It is very relevant still in today's world because keep in mind that calculators and computers need to be programmed. They need to be provided step-by-step instructions on how to perform a calculation. So there are human brains behind these machines and they have to be given algorithms, they have to be programmed so they can perform the task based on those step-by-step process and provide us with the answers. All right, so yes, they are still very relevant. The programmers, they need to know and explore all the different methods of calculation and perhaps use the one that will provide the answer in the most efficient and in the fastest time. All right. So that being said, we will first discuss the multiplication process called duplication and mediation. And this is a pretty ancient method. It used to be developed, or it used to be used by some of the ancient civilizations. So now the word duplication means to duplicate. It comes from the word duplicate. So duplicate means you are multiplying, you're doubling a value. And mediation means you are halving a value. All right. So I've written out the steps here. I'm not going to read through them right now. I will go straight into working on an example and we will come back to these steps and work through the multiplication using these steps one at a time. All right. So here I have the example that we are going to work on. It says multiply 96 with 53. So in other words, 96 times 53. The first step says write the two numbers next to each other, leaving some space between them. So that's what I'm going to do. The first step is just to lay out the numbers. So I'm going to write 96 on the left hand side and 53, leave a space between them because we have to, we need some space around it. Otherwise it will get too cluttered. If you want, you can separate the two using a line. All right. So we're done with step 1. In step 2, it says divide the number on the left by 2 and write the quotient below and repeat the process until you get to a 1. All right, so let's do that. For the number on the left, which is 96, we are going to divide. We are going to halve it. So this is where we apply mediation. Divide this column, all the values as we get the different values. We are going to keep dividing them by 2 until we get to a 1. So 96 divided by 2 is 48. 48 divided by 2 is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. We have to keep repeating the process until we get to a 1. 6 divided by 2 is a 3. And 3 divided by 2 is a 1. All right. Now, 3 divided by 2 has a quotient 1, but it also has a remainder 1. You don't have to worry about the remainder. You can just lose it. We only want the quotient written out here. All right. So we are done now with step 2. All right. So we are down to 1. We got the last value 1. We are completed with step 2. Let's see what the next step says. It says multiply the number on the right by 2. So this is where we will be using the duplication method. All right. So on the left hand side, we have the mediation and then the process of duplication will be on the number to the right, and we have to keep repeating it. So 53 times 2 is 106. So let's write those numbers. So first of all, let me write on top. For the column on the right, we multiply each value. 106 times 2 is 212. 212. 212 times 2 is 424. Then 424 times 2 is 848. Then we have 1696. And for the last one, 1696 multiplied by 2 gives us 3392. 3392. So we are done with step 3 at this point, multiplying or doubling the numbers on the right for all the rows. Then we go to the next row, which says, or next step, which says eliminate all the rows with even values on the left. All right, on the left. So we are going to eliminate all the rows which have an even value on the left, and we are going to eliminate the entire row, even the corresponding right side, the right value. So let's search for rows which have even values on the left hand side. So 96 is an even value, cross this out. 48 is an even value, cross the entire row out. 24 is an even value, cross it out. 12 is an even value, cross it out. 6 is an even value, cross the entire row out. Even if the number on the right is an odd value, it isn't even. 53 is not even, because the left-hand side value is an even value. You cross the entire row out. All right. So now we have eliminated all the even valued rows, the even valued, well, let's put it this way, all the rows which have an even value on the left. Okay. Now, once we are done with that, in the last step, just add the values to the right on remaining rows. So we have just 2 rows remaining, these 2 rows remaining. What we do is we just sum up these 2 numbers on the right. And we should come up with a number which is 6 plus 2, 8, 9 plus 9, 18, carry over 1, 6 plus 3, 9, plus 1, 10, 3 plus 1 plus 1, 5, right? So 5088 is the answer when we multiply 96 and 53. All right, you can cross-check it using your calculator. However, if you are working this on an assignment or on a test, you do need to show these steps. All right, we have to know that you know the process of duplication and mediation, and you can work a multiplication problem using that. All right. We'll now learn another technique of multiplication called the lattice method of multiplication. This is also an ancient method of multiplication, but it's a pretty nifty method, as you will see. All right. Now we will work this multiplication through a table, and we are going to create a matrix to work this multiplication. All right. Now we see over here the values that we are multiplying, 259 and 47. These are the 2 values we are multiplying. So 259 has 3 digits in it, and the 47 has 2 digits in it. So essentially we are going to create a 3 by 2 matrix or 2 by 3 matrix. Both would work. All right. So let's create the matrix first. I'm going to create a rectangle, or I'm going to draw a rectangle, and it's going to be a 3 by 2 matrix. So I'm going to divide this rectangle into 3 columns. All right. So let's draw 3 columns, and there has to be 2 rows to hold the digits of 47. So the 3 columns are going to hold the value 259, and for the 47 we are going to put them along the rows. So what I'm going to do before I enter the numbers, I'm going to create the 2 rows, and then I'm going to divide each box, each of these 6 boxes, into 2 parts by dividing them with a diagonal. All right, so I'm going to draw diagonals across and divide each of these boxes into 2 so that we can work with 2-digit values. All right, so again, draw your matrix, rectangle, divide it into boxes, and then divide each box by a diagonal into 2 parts. All right, and then write the digits of the number, for in this case 259, above the or along the columns, above the columns. All right, so the first column I write it 2, next 5, then next 9, and this 47 I write on the right hand side along the row. All right, so 4 in the first row and 7 in the row at the bottom. And make sure you write those values on the right hand side, because we will use the left hand side for a different purpose, as you will see. All right, now we can start the process of multiplication. Multiply each of these digits 259 by the value along the first row, which is a 4. So it's going to be 2 times 4, 5 times 4, 9 times 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. All right, so you have to write every number with 2 digits. So even though 8 has 1 digit, we have to represent it as 08. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write the 0 on the top part of the box above the diagonal, and 8 in the bottom part of the box. The next multiplication is 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 10. 10 has 2 digits. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 has 2 digits in it. So write the left digit above and the right digit below. Then 9 times 4 is 36. 36. Once we are completed with the multiplication with the first row, start the multiplication with the second row, 7. So 2 times 7, 14, 5 times 7, 35, and 9 times 7, 63. Now that we are completed with the process of multiplication, we have to add. What do we add? We add the values along the diagonal. So we are going to add, start from the bottom. So this is one addition. This is another addition. This is another addition. This is another addition. This is another addition. All right. So the first one is 3 by itself in this diagonal. So just put a 3, and it has to be a different color now. All right. So I'm going to write the 3 at the bottom here. The next addition is 6 plus 6 plus 5. So 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. So you have to write the 7 here, and the 1 has to be carried over to the diagonal above. So I'm going to write the 1 over here. So perform the addition. 1 plus 3, 4. 4 plus 3, 7. 7 plus 4, 11. So again, I'm going to write the 1 here and carry over the 1 to the diagonal above. And add. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 plus 1 is 12. So 2. And then carry over the 1 from the 12 to the diagonal above. 1 plus 0 is a 1. So now we have completed the addition, but how do we pick up the digits to put them together? Start from the left-hand side over here, from 1, 1, 2. So sorry, let me just rewrite this so they are properly aligned. All right, so 1. So this is how we pick up the values. 12173. All right. So the answer after multiplying 259 times 47 is 12173. All right, so this is the lattice multiplication process. There's another process called Napier's rod, multiplying using Napier's rod, and that follows the same process. All right.